All right, it is 5:30. We'll call this regular city council meeting of the City of International Falls to order. If everyone would please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Please note that all members of the council are present. First item on our agenda is to approve the agenda. We do have one addition. We were informed earlier this morning that the Thanksgiving Day curbside dinner at the Elks Lodge needs to have a little bit of a no parking area around that to help out with COVID restrictions. So I would like to add that to the agenda. So the chair would entertain a motion to accept the agenda with that one addition.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller. We have a second by Councillor Briggs. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next, we'll go to the minutes of the November 2nd meeting, regular city council meeting. Chair would entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councillor Briggs.
Second.
We have a second by Councillor Deitch. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next, we'll go to the canvassing board meeting of November 12th. Chair would entertain a motion for those minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller.
Second.
We have a second by Councillor Deitch. Discussion? Hearing none. Question?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain. Aye.
And I'll vote yes. We have 4 for the motion and 1 abstention. Next, we'll go to the payments of claims. We have coming out of the general fund, going to the general fund, $9,951.67. That's coming from the 601 water, $5,559.67. And coming from the 603 sewer, $4,392 even. Going to the permanent improvement fund, $66,666.66. That's being split equally between water and sewer, $33,333.33. Going to the 403 reserved for capital outlay, $25,760.42. Coming from the water fund, $19,136.17. And coming from the sewer, $6,628.25. For a total of transfers of $102,378.75. Our City of International Falls claims are $1,784,907.19. Airport Commission claims, $4,266.36. And International Falls Public Library claims of $5,234.33. For a total of $1,794,407.88. Chair would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution for the appoint.
So moved.
That's the one I was looking for.
Second.
We have a motion by Councillor Kraus, and we have a second by Councillor Briggs. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next is audience. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to bring something to the council that is not on the agenda? All right. You also have an opportunity at the end, and that also goes for those that are listening at home via Blue Jeans. Just pipe up at the end of the meeting if there's something you'd like to bring to the council's attention, or raise your hand according to the rules and restrictions of the app. Next, we'll go to the consent agenda. We have 4 items on the consent agenda. Approve the 2021 license renewals as presented. Approve registration and online attendance for 3 staff at the 65th Annual Institute of Building Officials. That's January 11th through the 15th, 2021. Approve IT Nuggets Online LLC computer licensing for $850 for all employees to use. and approve the purchase of a new server, $1,199 from Amazon for keeping our storage safe at an off-site location. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller.
Second.
We have a second by Councillor Deitch. Question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Under new business, this was added to your packet. This is to approve no parking from 10:30 a.m. till 3 p.m. along the south side of 3rd Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue for the Elks Lodge November 26th Thanksgiving Day dinner curbside through a window pickup. Sean, did you want to come forward?
Honorable Mayor and council members, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for serving. I know that that's a huge commitment, and it's great to have citizens step forward, run for office, and serve their fellow constituents. Thank you for putting us on the agenda so expeditiously and impromptu. Ken, I thank you so much for your quick action. Just was talking with Ken today. We think that we're really going to have an issue with traffic because the Thanksgiving dinner, which will occur at the Elks, as usual, on Thanksgiving, is all curbside. No one will be eating indoors. Everyone will be eating to go. So a lot of folks will be coming through. Betsy, Zarin, and I, and many other volunteers are working together to put it on to make sure it happens this year. Talking with Ken and talking with Officer Koscheck, they have a great idea. Officer Koscheck is recommending that we actually have people start to line up in the parking lot behind City Drug. And so they'd gather there, they'd get into a line, and we'd have volunteers that would help with traffic control to maneuver them through. And I think Officer Koscheck can probably describe it much better than I. So, Officer, would you mind describing this for us?
It's pretty self-explanatory. Ken and I came up with the idea of just having 3 lanes in the lot. There's actually 2 lots behind City Drug. In the event that the 3 lanes are enough for the traffic, like I explained, we can stand that's the northernmost lot for how many people we have. Really the best option rather than having them line along the street avenue, which is
Right.
So we're going to get some volunteers on 4th Avenue directing them into the lot. Then we're going to have another one on the other side directing them out. We'll have officers available if there's traffic, congestion problems, and that's going to have everything lined back up again.
Very good.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you. Sounds good. Well, thank you for putting this on. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the no parking from as requested.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councillor Kraus.
Second.
We have a second by Councillor Briggs. Any questions for Sean or the other volunteers?
I just have one question. You know where the stoplight is when they come out of the parking lot? You're going to have an officer there, or are they just going to have to wait for the light to turn?
We're planning on having them wait. We're not going to disrupt traffic any more than we have to.
Okay.
Usually there's not a whole lot of traffic during the hours they're operating. You don't have to fit anything else. I mean, that's our elected officer.
The only reason I brought it up is if somebody was coming north, could cut the line and turn in, and and what kind of problem that presents. That's all.
We had a discussion. We've had those problems.
Okay.
And we're able to kind of educate people the proper way to do that. But we're going to be day no traffic things.
Okay.
We did talk about that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, please.
We did talk about that, and even I thought, what if we turned the stoplight to the red blinking, so it's a 4-way stop, easier to control. But we don't believe that's necessary. So.
Okay, and I heard a question over here from Councillor Buller.
Do we need a state permit for that?
Or is
That entire block is surrounded by federal highway.
Like parades when it's closed? This is just a no parking thing versus, I know we need permits for if you're going to close it for the events in town, but I don't know if you need a permit for no parking on one side.
Public Works Director Brokaw.
You need a permit to do no parking, but you would need a permit to adjust the stoplight.
So by not adjusting the stoplight, we don't need any additional permits.
Thank you.
All right?
They're having a hard time hearing you guys, just so you know. We're okay with the parking, it's just with the stoplights, which are MnDOT. The parking lanes are actually ours, so
Okay.
it's not part of
Thank
the
you.
state highway.
Thank you.
Excellent. Any other questions? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, since I do have your attention and the attention of those who are attending online, could I put a plea out that we do need more volunteers, especially since we're going to be going to this logistics platform and getting people mobilized in the city drug parking lot and getting them over here. We're going to need more volunteers than we anticipated. So if anybody out there is interested in joining us, please reach out to either Betsy Zarin or myself, and we'll put you on the list.
I can't.
You are volunteering, and I appreciate that. Walt was, for the record, Walt was the number 2 person that called to volunteer. The first volunteer was someone who volunteers every year, who was always sitting, so it's always at the Elks working. That's Carl. Carl from the
I love
Elks. Number 1, Walt number 2.
Well, last year I
Number two.
helped out and they typecast me. They had me serve coffee. So,
You ever served a cup of coffee before?
not a good one.
Not a good one?
Thank you all for
Thank
your
you.
time.
All right, next we will go to license renewals that involve cigarettes or alcohol. Our first one is Bootleggers Fuel and Liquor cigarette license, gasoline pump license, and restaurant license. Bootleggers LLC for an off-sale liquor license. Forest Land Sales and Service Incorporated, and they are looking for a cigarette license and gasoline pump license. Chair would entertain a motion on those.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion by Councillor Buller, a second by Councillor Briggs. Any discussion?
He's not here. Any issues?
Okay. So we have, I'll call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
I love that long joke. I'll vote yes, 5-0. Considering applying for MPCA grant for electric vehicles fast charger. Director Brokaw.
Mayor and Council, I was contacted by Minnesota Power. You've already approved one long charger, 4 to 6 hours in the city drug parking lot, which we plan to put up in 2021. The end of this month, the MPCA is going to approve grants for fast chargers. I was under the understanding for Minnesota Power that we were going to have to fill out the request for proposal, but after a lot of research, I've found that basically what Minnesota Power is looking for is if we're in support of a fast charger in International Falls, possibly in the same location as the other charger that we're going to put in. As of right now, last week I thought they were looking for a 20% cost share, but I couldn't quite find out what that is. As of right now, there will be absolutely no cost to the city of International Falls. They're just looking for support so that when the vendor that is applying for the fast chargers gets it, that it's something that we would welcome. And the reason why I had to get on the agenda was the RFP was due on the 25th. I thought we were going to have to fill it out, but we do not. They are just looking for support for the MPCA. Basically has got a map drawn out that outstate Minnesota, basically they've said International Falls is going to get one. I think it's good to get in front of it so that we have some say in where it's going to go and that type of stuff. So I would recommend support as of right now with no cost to us. The only issue to look at is you're going to take up about 6 parking spots in the city in the city parking lot across the alley from City Drug. One has to be handicap accessible. So if we're doing a dual charger for the long term, which takes 4 to 6 hours, we're looking at 3 parking spots. With this one also, it'd be a dual, so it would be another 3 parking spots. There's approximately 75 to 100 parking spots in that lot right now. So,
Question. Where would this be located in the parking lot? There's 2 sections.
It'd be-
Would it be closer to the mill section or city drugs?
it'd be on the center island.
Okay.
So Whether we put them nose to nose or we put them next to each other on one side or the other, we haven't really got there yet. Getting the building removed along the alley took a lot longer than I was hoping, so I wasn't able to get the underground electrical for the charger that we've already discussed. So that's going to be next spring. I'm kind of hoping that we can share some cost with this new one if it comes, to reduce the cost of getting power to the middle of the parking lot. Because with Minnesota Power, with the original car charger, they were going to give us up to $1,700 for installation. It was going to cost about $2,300 to get the bore from one side of the alley to the other. Reason being is, when we redid that parking lot originally, we paid a lot of money to get rid of the overhead power. So I've been insistent that we keep everything underground so that we don't have a wood pole stuck in the middle of the parking lot. So,
Please.
So with the bore, would they be able to put both lines in there, or just take one line for both of them?
not quite sure yet. Haven't got that far.
Okay.
But they can go in the same location.
Yeah.
But it's my understanding the fast charger is, there's a lot more power used for that, so that might not be possible to put them in the same duct. But they're just looking for support. And right now, I was nervous about 20% match, but they couldn't tell me what the 100% cost was. So I finally got that worked out. But my concern was having to get something into the MPCA by the 25th, which would be before your next meeting. So I just wanted you to be aware. So,
All right, so the chair would entertain applying for the MPCA grant.
So move.
We have a motion by Councillor Deitch. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councillor Buller. Discussion, questions? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next is discuss Governor Tim Walz Executive Order 2096, new COVID-19 test sites. City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to include this in the council packet for public information as well as the council's information. The governor had adopted the new executive order towards the end of last week. It was effective at 10 o'clock p.m. on Friday the 13th. I don't know if that was in any way ominous about what this means, but I just wanted the council to be aware, as the public to be aware of the new standards that were being put in place. And essentially, establishments need to have, it's modifying a previous executive order, and social gatherings of more than 10 people, and also social gatherings involving members of more than 3 households are prohibited, except as set forth with some various exceptions. So I wanted the council to be aware of that. I've also, for public information, included a copy of a news release that was put out by the Minnesota Department of Health, and there's 11 new COVID-19 testing sites that are opening across Minnesota. And they're also initiating a mail order program now that's available statewide. So the new COVID testing sites are free, and the closest one to International Falls is in Hibbing at the National Guard Armory. And so if somebody has some interest in participating in that free testing, they can go to the National Guard Armory, and that opens on November 18th. I'm not sure. I think they have different dates and times. It's essentially 3 to 5 days a week, but I don't know what the times are. But people can research that online. The other information that is interesting is that they are allowing this mail-in program. There is a new saliva testing site that's all the way down in the Twin Cities at Burnsville. But then there's also a test at home program where you can order a saliva test to be delivered to your home, and that'll come with expedited shipping. And then the test, after you take it, is sent to a new lab that's located in Oakdale, Minnesota for processing. So those are some new options for COVID testing that I wanted the council and the public to be aware of. And then finally, I saw an article that was in the, I believe it was the Star Tribune, talking about how the northern Minnesota is now on the defense as the virus rages unabated. Of course, that's, the media has a tendency of elaborating on these kinds of things. But there are some concerns. There's more community spread in all of northeastern Minnesota, and those were highlighted in this article, so I wanted to bring that to the council's attention. I think the information I heard earlier today is that there's 269 total positive cases in Koochiching County and a total of 5 deaths. And so some of that information is alarming, and with the holidays coming up, I think that's why the governor is instituting these new requirements. So that's for council information.
Thank you. Next is to approve the mayor's appointment to vacancy on the Recreation Commission. I would like to appoint Councilor Joe Kraus. Chair would entertain a motion to accept that appointment.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilor Briggs, second by Councilor Buller. Discussion. This is to fill the vacancy of Ashley Hall. She did put in her resignation last month, and so at last month's meeting. So we had a special meeting this afternoon, which we did not have full representation of the city on, and our regular meeting is on Wednesday. So we'll move forward with a full representation for the city. Call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next is to approve.
I should have abstained.
Oh,
I apologize.
You're good.
No, I should have abstained.
You can vote for yourself.
You can vote for yourself. You're good. We like you.
There's no financial gain from it.
I should have abstained. And so if you could change my vote to abstain, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I missed it. It's
I won't lie. I voted for myself.
it's a secret ballot.
You even put it on Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
I got one vote.
All right,
Amy didn't vote for him.
let's move on. All right, so this is to accept the resignation of Clint Chase from the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I'd like to recognize his outstanding community service. He has been serving on boards and commissions for the city forever, and I got this a while back, but he did say he would work through until we got to the winter months, so we're a little bit closer. And even 2 weeks ago, he was on one of our boards and commissions that helped out with the Larry Keep project that had came forward. So I just want to say thank you, and I don't foresee any need to appoint anyone until the new year on both of these. So I am probably not going to make an appointment until after the new year, but this is just to accept his resignation. So the chair would entertain a motion as such.
Except with regret.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilor Kraus, and we have a second by Councilor Briggs. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Will we be offering him a letter of gratitude from the city, I would assume?
I definitely will be.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Adopt a policy implementing grace periods to allow persons currently keeping and harboring chickens to do so until May 1st, 2021, after which they shall be prohibited and violations shall be enforced. Chair would entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilor Deitch, and we have a second by Councilor Briggs. Discussion? Please.
I have a hard time with this because they've already had chickens when there weren't legal to have them in town. I think by giving them till the first of the year is enough time to get rid of the chickens, because I saw on the canvassing board that my West Ward carried the most no's, that carried the no's enough to cover all the yeses on the others, and I feel like my ward needs to know that I'm not for this.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Please.
I have a problem with the wording. It says shall be prohibited. They are prohibited. They were never prohibited. So it is not shall be, it is they're currently in violation. It was a violation prior to the vote, and it remained as such. So the wording to say shall be prohibited, no, it currently is and always was prohibited.
So
They're currently in violation. I agree with Councilor Buller to give them till the first of the year, but, I mean, it was never okay.
Okay.
Like, even after the petition, that didn't magically make it okay. It was,
Change your motion.
Okay, so please.
We already given them a grace period all this year when they had them.
Yep.
Until the end of the year. I say the first of the year is the end of it, no chickens.
Okay, thoughts over here?
I'd be willing to change it to the first of the year as a second.
Counselor Deitch?
Yeah, I'm happy with the way it was made,
Okay.
so we'll have to vote it down.
Well, we have a motion and a second, unless you rescind your second.
Rescind my second.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to adopt a policy implementing a grace period to allow persons currently keeping and harboring chickens until May 1st. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Do we have a second? This motion would fail due to the lack of a second. Chair would entertain
I would move for January 1st.
okay, we have a motion for January 1st, 2021.
Second.
We have a second by Councilor Buller. Discussion on that. Hearing none, call the question.
Aye?
aye.
Aye.
And I would vote no, 4 for the motion and 1 against the motion. I just really think that it's hard to do until spring, but I'm with you guys.
Again, Mr. Mayor, I will point out
It's
that
already illegal, I totally understand.
it was illegal to begin with. It was never legal.
Just taking a second to breathe in, the chicken thing is in the past.
It's the third time I've voted on chickens.
And maybe you haven't seen the end of it yet.
All right. The City of International Falls Infiltration Plan prepared by Widseth. I don't know if, Ken, you've had a chance to go through and look at this, but I know that this was prepared and I got it, I believe, Friday?
Yes, Mayor, that is correct. The city's engineer prepared the I&I plan. We wanted to provide that for council information. It was forwarded prior to the deadline date to the North Couchiching Area Sanitary District on Friday. We had emailed the full packet of information to the council, which included a number of exhibits. It was quite sizable. So for the council packet, we just included the narrative with the main revisions, and that's about 9 pages. So we've provided that for your information as well as the public's. If there's any questions, we could try and answer those, but this is the approach that the engineers have put together for the elimination plan that we want to move forward with. And again, the elimination plan addresses inflow and infiltration into the city's sanitary sewer system, which in some locations is over 100 years old, and we have a lot of frost movement with freeze-thaw. So this is a plan going forward to try and address the infrastructure condition issues related to sanitary sewers.
Okay, thank you. Any other business to come before the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Please.
and I don't know if this is the appropriate place, but there was a special recreation board meeting.
I was going to bring that up under rec.
No, that's not where I'm going with this.
Okay.
As per my city council emails and all of my correspondence with the city, it was my understanding that the meeting was to be held on Wednesday, and a special meeting was called at 2:37 p.m. on Friday, which is after the city office is closed for the weekend, and there was no notice posted. It's my understanding no notice was posted on the bulletin board downstairs, and I had a couple constituents get a hold of me over the weekend, and they made me into a liar by me telling them that the meeting is on Wednesday because I was not made aware that there was a special meeting today. I don't like being made a liar, and I'm just wondering if moving forward, if a special meeting is to be called, if the city council whether we're on the commission or not, could be made aware, because constituents do call. This isn't the first time this has happened to me, but they do call because they're concerned about this, that, or the other, and I always direct them to the meeting. The problem is I directed them to the meeting on Wednesday, not knowing that the special meeting was called for today. So, and I found out about the special meeting at 3:38 this afternoon, 8 minutes after it started. Not that I would have attended, but I directed people to a meeting that's not going to discuss what they want to discuss. So I am asking, or just saying, that maybe when a meeting or an emergency meeting of any commission is going to be called that's potentially going to talk about something like they talked about today, that means something to the public, that maybe the city council could somehow be brought into the loop. Plus also, I don't feel that a special meeting should be able to be called after city offices are closed for the weekend to have it on Monday. It just seems like nobody's going to maybe check that or do that. It's just my opinion on the matter, but I just don't like being made a liar. And I had multiple people contact me over the weekend, and I directed them to a meeting that's not going to happen. So and I don't like being made into a liar. I don't know if that has to be a resolution or if it has to go through land use and legislation. I just feel that I don't have a problem with the special meeting.
Right.
I just wish I had known about it, so as people were texting me over the weekend, I could have directed them. Typically, when somebody gets a hold of me about an issue, if I'm not on that commission, I will direct them to the meeting or potentially direct them to somebody on it. But since all of the correspondence I had last week said that the meeting was going to be held on Wednesday, and I double-checked, I had no problem. You know what? It's on Wednesday. It's at 4:30. It's the normal meeting.
Yeah.
It's got to be public. And then there was a public meeting held today, and it's not on the bulletin board downstairs. It wasn't in the newspaper. It wasn't on the bulletin board. It's a public meeting. That doesn't seem very transparent to me.
And one of the issues that I see is it's part of the joint powers agreement we have, where we just appoint someone to that board. It's very similar to North Cooch. It's very similar to the other boards and commissions. And I was aware of the meeting, obviously, because I'm on that board. But yeah, I don't know how to handle that when it comes down from other entities.
Or if they could just CC, or if somebody was to get something like that, just pass it on to the rest of the council, so that I had no intention of attending, but I had people contact me over the weekend that were concerned about the issue, and I directed them to a meeting that I'm 3 days late on that meeting. Actually, 3 days and an hour late, because it was scheduled for Wednesday at 4:30. So I just feel that if it's going to change, maybe we should be made aware of it, because I do steer people to go to those meetings and have your voice heard. It's a public meeting, and I lied to them.
Well, and I would suggest that you steer them more so from the meetings, but to the director or the chair of that committee. But I definitely see where you're coming from. I do know that the people that were directly affected with that particular meeting this afternoon were all engaged and were there. So, and I actually will talk about that a little bit more.
And I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But a couple of the parents that got a hold of me were not.
Right.
So they didn't know. And you're right. Typically it would be, but something like that, that's when they're going to talk about it. It was my understanding going into the weekend that that's when it was going to be discussed. So again.
Alan, I woke up on Friday morning to the conversation. And again, we will discuss this under council committees. So
thank you.
We'll move forward. All right, reports of the administrator, attorney, department heads? City administrator, nothing?
For the council today, Mayor.
Okay. City attorney, I didn't see him on.
Yeah, I'm on by phone.
Oh, I hear you.
Can you hear me? I'm on by phone.
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, I'm actually driving down to Rochester. My wife and I are going to be at the Mayo Clinic all week with tests and stuff, but I don't have anything special to report. Right after our last meeting, we had a number of the blight criminal cases appear in court that next Tuesday, And I did update the report, I think later that day, and sent it to Ken, and I think he sent it out to all of the council people. So we did have like 3 different properties that were cleaned up to the satisfaction of Chief Manassa, and they were all to pay the $150 admin fee to City Hall, and that's what we've been requiring of people. If they don't clean it up until after we've started the criminal case, but before they're found guilty, then we just have them pay that $150 admin fee. So that's good progress, and I think I have a few cases that are on for tomorrow's court calendar as well, and then I'm participating in all that by Zoom. We're doing pretty much everything by Zoom with the court cases now. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
We'll go to, you had the police report is in your packet, and fire, rescue, EMS monthly reports were in your packets. Reports of the mayor, council, committees, boards, and commissions. Anybody? Okay, I just want to have a discussion about the rec commission meeting that we had this afternoon. It was a special meeting called on Friday due to the nature of the school district was going to distance learning, and they were closing down, as I understood it, they were going to be closing down the sports programs. I was contacted first thing Friday morning, and I was asked if the city was going to also close down Cary Park. And it was my position that the city would be able to look at that. However, I did speak with Public Works Director. They have been handling themselves very well, working within the restraints of USA Hockey. They've been doing all of the correct COVID policies and such. So I spoke with him, and I said that the city does not see an issue with letting them continue to work or to have sports at Cary Park. However, the issue still lies with the school district canceling all of their sports and all of their facilities. So the school district and the city of International Falls are both above the rec board. So it fell on the rec board today to make the decision on if the school closes or cancels all of their sporting events, does that then fall under recreation, and does recreation then cancel all of their sports? And after a 45-minute meeting today, which was very cordial, there was a motion had by me to have the Recreation Commission adopt the policy to, when the school district closes their school sporting events, all rec sports then fall under that. And there was a second and discussion, and it did fail on a 3-5 vote. So if the school is to close down their sports facilities and close down sports, rec hockey and basketball will be able to find any other sport can find somewhere else to have their sports as long as they're not on school property. So that was the decision of the rec commission this morning or this afternoon. I guess I disagree with that as a parent governing body of the rec commission. However, that is the decision that they made today, and I stand with the rest of the rec board on that. The only other thing that I want to bring up under boards and commissions is, as we see Clint Chase is going to be, has resigned from the Planning and Zoning Commission, and there's a lot of other boards and commissions that are going to need to be filled starting in January. And so I want anyone who would like to be more active in their community to reach out to me and see if there's a board or commission that they'd be interested in. I will have a complete list of the boards and commissions that are going to be opening in January at our next city council meeting, and that gives people a month to kind of see what's available, and so I can make appointments in January. So, does anyone have any questions on anything? Okay, there was a question that came up from audience on Blue Jeans. Did the city have any questions about the I&I report DSI sent to the city a few weeks ago? I am not familiar with that. I don't think everyone in the room is. Kevin, are you able to get on and address the council with the question? Unmute yourself, maybe. Kevin, you're unmuted if you'd like to speak. All right, well, we'll move.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, I got my laptop open with my phone connected to my truck Bluetooth. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
This is Kevin with Drain Services Incorporated. We're the contractor who is currently under contract with the city for your current I&I remediation projects.
Okay.
We had sent out our findings of the system and some major inadequacies with WIDSET's design. And so when I saw this pop up on your guys' meeting, I thought we were talking about this I&I project. So I figured I would just shoot a message over asking if the city received that report, because we haven't heard from WIDSET if we're going to be fixing anything, really, to tell you the truth. We have no idea what's going on with this project we're currently under right now.
Okay, we'll look into it, and we'll have someone contact you tomorrow about it.
Okay.
We're all kind of looking around the room too, so we don't know much about it ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, we did send a report off to WIDSET, but we did send a stamped notice to the city too with a whole packet of information. So I'm kind of shocked that nobody from the city would know about that, because it was a large envelope sent to the city hall. So maybe it's still floating around up there somewhere for someone to open up.
All right. Well, we will look into it, and we will get back to you offline.
Thanks for letting me pipe in there so quick. I appreciate it. Thanks for everyone's time.
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
Yep, have a good night.
Yep. Our next regular city council meeting is Monday, December 7th, 2020 at 5:30. This meeting is adjourned.